Hey everyone, how's it going? Hurst Quayzar here, and we're doing some more movie cars. And today, you can tell by the thumbnail, one of my favorite movies of all time, Cheech and Chong's Up in Smoke. I mean, come on, this was a classic. Was it mid to late '70s movie with Cheech Marin and Tommy Chong. The guys are hilarious. I was introduced to them on an album called Los Cochinos or something like that. And it was an album cover that you could take the sleeve out, and it was a car door, right? And then you could pull the door off. You slide the cover off of it, and behind the car door is all kinds of drugs and paraphernalia and everything else. Uh, but yeah, that is just it was my introduction to Cheech and Chong. And the Up in Smoke movie actually references um, that that album of theirs. At least I believe so. I mean, that was the only album that I remember um, knowing at the time, and I just thought it was hilarious. I had to clean those door sills up; they were in pretty bad shape. Um, Yeah, so it was quite hilarious. Now this is an edit. Now I did edit this a little bit. Um, so this is the Lowrider version with the single valve V8 in it, or I should say the single carb V8 in it. I raised it up a little bit and had to resize the tires. Now you can tell most movie cars that I drag in here have are pretty beat up, but this one I was tinkering around with before I hit the record button, just to make sure I had the wheels straight on it. And honestly, I could have just thrown the old wheels back on it, but I figured, what the heck, I'll just go with these. And actually, these I'm gonna have to take these off and chrome them anyway, because they were chrome, I believe, in the movie, not aluminum. So let's get to it, shall we? Alright, as promised, I've been trying to get some videos up and running, so hopefully in the next couple of weeks you will see a few more videos on the loose out there dropping. So wish me luck on that venture. We have surpassed 550 subscribers to the channel. Thank you very much for subscribing. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. I would love for you to be a subscriber here. My goal was to hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of this year. I thought maybe I could do it because of the pandemic and everyone's staying inside, and I just don't have as much as the fan base as most people do. But that's okay. We'll build it nice and slow, and I believe if we build it nice and slow, then we'll have a dedicated audience. And I mean, what more can someone ask for? A dedicated audience. So this movie, Up in Smoke, this is about so Cheech and Chong basically meet up with each other somewhere in California. They accidentally get deported, right? And then to get back home, they have to drive. They're stoners, right? The drugs have just wiped them out, so they don't realize that these people have asked them to drive this van back across the Mexican-American border. And it's made entirely of marijuana. So and they don't realize it. So it's quite comical. I mean, for the references to the album, you got Pedro, you have the Man, Sergeant Stedenko. A lot of those references from that album are in this movie. I find it quite comical. And I've had this Impala mod has been around for a very, very long time. It was probably one of the first mods that I downloaded onto my game. And who did this mod? I believe it was Gollywog. I think it was Gollywog's mod. And like I said, it was like one of my very first mods that I had added to the game. I loved it. I just absolutely loved it. So I am so happy that, you know, I happened just to, I believe this was a Phillip Berube suggestion. So Phillip, thanks again for the suggestion. And Ryan Peterson out there is the one who's set me up with delivery for this thing. So thank you guys very, very much for all of that. Okay, I got caught up. Got messages going on. All right. So yeah, we want to chrome these up. Come on. So yeah, this game, I tell you what, you know, when every time I believe that it's going to, you know, starting to get a little dull, starting to get a little boring, somebody new, somebody fresh always comes into play. Like Ryan Peterson, who's out there making liveries for it. The you know, you have what is his name? Old timer out there, always doing he's doing these edits and doing these videos. He's, you know, making things fresh out there. And you have you know, like Phillip Berube. I call it Berube. That's one of the pronunciations he's told me. So Phillip Berube is, you know, giving me a whole list of cars that, you know, I didn't even think about. So that's a fresh look on this as well, because like I said, I thought, you know, I was beginning to wonder if I was just going to be. That's why I started the Rot to Rad series, because I figured I needed another series to continue on after the movie cars. Because I first started out with the Fast and Furious series, so I've still got, honestly, I've still got a few cars there. I have a couple of cars left to go on there. I have them. I just haven't had the time to do them. So, and trying to squeeze those in and having them drop on a different day than my movie cars drop. So, you know, it's all a timing thing. It's all a timing thing, and what I can get done on the road or at home. It's always a challenge. So I'm sure most of you understand. All right. Yeah, this you know, I have to hats off to Gollywog. Like I said, this is the first. I'd have to say the first mod I've ever downloaded. Just hands down, I love the car. My dad had a 4-door 64 Impala when I was growing up, and it was a dark blue, right? And it was so dark blue that it was almost black, and it had at that point it had spotlights. You know, the lights that are in the front pillars by the windshield. I'd ask my dad, "What are those for?" He goes, "Well, they're spotlights. This used to be a cop car." And man, that car was pretty darn quick for, you know, for what it was back in the day. So yeah, that's my earliest knowledge of any type of Impala, and I tell you what, my dad has owned several Impalas, a 64, a 66, 63, and a 65 actually, and the 75, which I had posted a picture some time ago. Fully Sick has a 73, I think it is, a 73 Impala mod out there. And not to be too sappy, but when I found the mod, right, I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna build this up, and oh no, I need a wheel hub. I need a wheel hub. Wheel hub 4. I need that one, not a wheel bearing. But yeah, not to be too sappy about it, but when I pulled it out of the junkyard and was building it, I noticed that it was a very light blue. Much like the light blue of the Scooby-Doo machine you've seen me posted. Very much like the... what was the other car that I just... Oh, the it's 58 Impala. Very much that color, believe it or not. I didn't even think about it till now. But very much that color. Well, that was the color of my dad's 75 Impala. So when I pulled it out of the junkyard and started rebuilding it, I had really a lot of fond memories of my dad with that mod. Believe it or not, as silly as it may sound, just had a lot of fond memories of him, and loved building that car. Unfortunately, it's a right-hand drive car, but that's all right. I think Fully Sick has. I think that was actually his car that he had modeled it after. So it's pretty cool. So props out to Fully Sick for putting that out there. Appreciate it. Brought back some memories when I was rebuilding it. But yeah, Cheech and Chong, man, it cannot get these two guys were just a couple of stoners back in the 70s, right? And they probably were in real life, but man, they really acted well on screen. So go to YouTube, pull up Cheech and Chong Up in Smoke. There's bits and tips, there's all kinds of movie bits everywhere. Just some crazy clips out there. These guys are hilarious. You gotta give them some credit, man. These guys, they really did a good job on that movie. Now, of course, growing up, my dad would not have approved that because of the whole drug thing. But hey, do I got everything out of here? Yeah. Yeah, I can sell everything. Now, I don't know what Tommy Chong, I'm sure he's been around. Cheech Marion has had like a very a pretty successful career. I mean, I've seen him in he's been in a lot of different movies. He doesn't really star in them. He's just like a I don't know what you'd call, like a third or fourth string kind of actor, kind of hanging out in the background, So like, well, take for example, Pixar's Cars, the movie Cars. The animated Cars with what is his name, Lightning McQueen, right? Well, you've got what is his name? It's an Impala, for crying out loud. He is the Impala in that cartoon. I don't know what his name is in that cartoon. Dang, I'm gonna have to look him up real quick. But yeah, that's him. He's the Lowrider Impala. So yeah, he's done. Not to be stereotypical or anything, but he's played a lot of those types of roles. Mexican lowrider driving kind of guy. But he's played some other roles as well. I can't think of him off the top of my head, but he's really a really decent actor. Seems like a decent dude. But I don't know what Tommy Chong has done over the years. I think maybe he kind of like he may have kind of melted away in the background, just to stay out of the limelight and everything. Maybe. I don't know. I should have researched him just a little bit more before I jumped on air. I keep making that mistake all the time. So you guys are getting more of my opinion than you are facts. But yeah, if you get a chance, one of my favorite ones on that album is Pedro and the Man at the Drive-In, and they smuggle these guys in the trunk of the car, right? And then they joke around about not being able to get the trunk open. And the guys are stuck in the trunk, and he's peeing on the trunk, and it's just it's funny. The Sergeant Stedenko one is another good one. You know, you got a bunch of rowdy classroom people, and the teacher's trying to calm them down. And you know, it's like show and tell. I've got a new guest. You got this guest speaker. It's Mr. Stedenko, and she says, and then Mr. Stedenko is a narcotics officer, and the classroom just goes silent, right? And one guy's like getting up, going to the bathroom, and that teacher's like, "Hey, you need to sit down." He goes, "You don't understand, sister. I need to go to the bathroom." She goes, "Nope, you need to sit down. Whatever it is in your mouth, you need to swallow it immediately." And he's like, "Oh, all right, thanks, sister." You hear this, and you hear this voice in the background. It's very faint, and you have to turn it up real loud to hear it. But you hear this other voice in the background goes, hey Billy, swallow these too, man." Oh my God, it's you have to. I guess it's just, you know, my generation comedy, I guess. I don't know if the younger generation would see any comedy in that at all, but give it a shot. Look it up, give it a shot. Tell me what you think down below. You know, do some of the Cheech and Chong items on YouTube, and then come back and say, you know what, Hurst? Yeah, they are kind of funny. Or Hurst, you're really off your rocker, man. These guys are funny. So let me know. All right, as we start building this thing. Oh, I didn't. Oh, that's not what I needed to do. That's what I wanted to do. One of those and one of those. Whew. Got rid of it. Holy cow, did you see what I just did? Alright. Rubber bushing. Good there, and good there. Alright. Let me go chrome these. These are, yeah, those look pretty good chrome. It's like a dirty chrome in the movie. So I can't really have a dirty chrome, so I'm chroming them up. So yeah, with this particular edit, Gollywog's Lowrider, I just raised it. I raised it up just enough to get a good stance on it. The wheels are a 15, as you've noticed in the inventory. The wheels are a 15, and I was looking at the a side view of the car, because I read up that the car, they can't find the original car. They don't know where the original car is. But this one guy has a very, very close replica of it. So that's the one I was looking at, and that's the one I was going by. So I was trying to look at the stance as it compared to the picture and how big the wheels were. So I kept playing with the wheel sizes and everything. So 15-inch was what I had to go with. I think really on the Lowrider that Gollywog has, I believe he had 13s on it, and I believe this car actually came with 14s. But the 15s looked the best on it, so I stuck with the 15s on it. Alright, let's jump in here and let's take a look. Did I don't think I did. I don't think I bought anything. I need a caliper, a cylinder, ventilated 2, pads 2, front knuckle cover, 2 of those, just a regular sway bar, inner and outers, rubber bushing times 12, and the typical bearings and caps. Gotcha. Oh, I needed to do something else. Gotta get the shock absorbers going here. Now I complained about this in the last video. Why separate them if you can't repair any of the pieces? Now I can see if you separated them and we were able to repair the cap or repair the shock absorber itself. You know, be able to repair one of those pieces. It's been my experience. I haven't been able to repair any of them after I've separated them. So don't understand why you have the ability to do that. But yeah, I've got Gollywog's version is Lowrider, and this one just says low. This is my rendition of the Up in Smoke Impala of Cheech and Chong. I think also in the movie, you know, they're jonesing for some weed or for drugs or something, right? And they fail to realize that the whole van is made out of weed. Oh man, these guys are quite comical. But you tell me what you think of them. And speaking of movie cars, I have really got to get the Fast and Furious cars done. I've got at least 2 that I know of I've got to get done. A third I have to replace, honestly. Oh, actually I have 4. Well, it's really 3, but I count the 4th one just because I've got it in my queue to do. It's not really. I think they use a in Fast and Furious 3. I think it's a 370Z. Drift King has a 370Z. I think we have a 350Z, or the other way around, something like that. We have a 350Z mod, and he has a 370Z, or we have a 370Z, and he drove a 350Z. I'm not sure which one which at this point. I forget, but I do have a 350, 370Z sitting in the parking area, ready to roll. I need to take a look around and see if I can make some sort of a livery for it to kind of emulate what the Drift King's paint scheme was, but I have to look around a little bit more for that. I just have not had a chance to do that. So yeah, here we go. Alright, and that will do it for that part of the Cheech and Chong machine. Alright. What's in our inventory? Nothing but junk. So we're going to sell all the parts. Goodbye. Sell the groupings. We're good. Made a little bit of cash back. We'll go ahead and lower this bad boy down and take the engine out of it. So yeah, the Adams family Lincoln. I've got, I don't remember if I've done anything between episodes on this, to be quite honest with you. I've been bouncing between profiles. But I do have the interior all done up on it. I have everything all pretty and nice and painted. Rear axle assembly is completed. Front axle assembly needs some work, and I need to build an engine for it. This one takes the inline 6, and the one I have in the parking area is a V8, I believe. So I'm going to have to build the inline 6, and I got this one because the miles. 169,000 miles. The one I have in the parking area is probably I want to say 289. So well over 100,000 miles less. So I grabbed it. And my theory has always been that, you know, once you grab a lower mile car and you fix it up and you keep it, the next time you find a car like this, it'll be even lower. And it goes to a certain point. I mean, hopefully I'm going to find one under 150,000 at some point in this game. So every once in a while you'll see a car sitting over there that's been built once before, and the reason for that is because, hey, you know, I built one on screen that was above the 150,000 mile mark that I like to have. That's my own personal goal, is to have all the cars under 150,000. So, I mean, I do that with the Rot to Rad series as well. So, if you're interested in that, check that out. There we go. Okay, so everything underneath the hood is good to go. Yank it out. And I'm not going to bother tearing that down. I am just going to build new. Typically in the Rot to Rad series, I like to keep the block. But, hey, for this, it doesn't really matter. Shh, don't tell Cheech or Chong that. I'm rebuilding it for them. Alright, no, we need the engine. Alright. Let me breathe. Let me get my bearings straight as I roll through here. Okay. And cam gear's the first thing. Let me see if I can do this. I always do this. This is always a game for me. This is always a game for me to be able to pick up and get all the parts before I start building the engine. This one in particular, I should be able to because I've built it so many times. You would think that I would be able to do this blindfolded. It's not always that easy sometimes. And hey, my brain is burnt out, much like Cheech and Chong's. I won't say as bad as Cheech and Chong's, but you know, age tends to deteriorate your mindset at times. So, all right, all that's going to be in the performance shop. I'm not worried about any of that, nor any of that. All of that's going to be in a performance shop. Wires, plugs. I need the single intake because these rats don't have it in the performance shop. Yeah, I called them rats. Okay, get that. Oil pan. Piston rings times 8. Fan. Rocker arms times 16. Rod cap times 8. The carb I can get later. Base. Cover. All that. Okay, so Serpentine Belt. Which one is the A? Here we go. And then we have B. There we go. We'll go ahead and pick up a starter while we're in here. Timing belt. Timing belt. Cover. Water pump or push rods. Of course, we need the push rods. We need 16 of those bad boys. Water pump, water pump. Water pump pulley. Gearbox. We'll get the release bearing. I can't think of anything else I would need from this shop. I'm going to jump over to the power boost shop. Get the clutch plate, pressure plate, and the flywheel. Jump into the engine assembly here. Alternator. Camshaft. Overhead valve, yes. Carburetor, nope. Not that carburetor. That carburetor, there we go. Heads times 2. Headers times 2. Fuel filter. Coil. Distributor. Cap and rotor. We call it the bug. Wires. Pistons. Steering pump. Air filter. Spark plugs. And I think that's it. I think we may have done it, boys and girls. Okay, let's see how well we did. And how quickly we can build this motor without having to jump back into the catalog. This will be interesting. This Impala is well deserving of a brand new motor in it. It's unfortunate that they can't find the original one. I find that unfortunate. There's a lot of cars out there. I'm sure it's probably stashed away in somebody's garage, somebody's back movie lot, something. I remember there was a Barracuda, a custom Barracuda. If you ever seen a really old movie called Fireball 500, it was a convertible Barracuda. Had no top on it, just had a very small windshield on it. Kind of like a just a cool looking custom car. They found that thing behind a, I want to say like behind a shopping plaza in the weeds. In the weeds. What happens with this kind of stuff, man? I mean, this is like nostalgic stuff, movie car props. I mean, can you imagine coming across like the original Batmobile in somebody's garage? And somebody just saying, oh yeah, yeah, I got it for, a couple $1,000 back in the day. I didn't know what I was going to do with it, so I stuck it here in the garage, and then, I just never did anything with it. Those are the type of stories that you just want to kill somebody over. You got to be kidding me. These are cool cars. So I would really imagine that this car is probably stuck somewhere in limbo like that. It may even be, in a one of those crates. I don't know if you've seen the story. There was a Z28 Camaro that was in in one of those crates for forever. It was brand new. It still had the plastic and stuff on the seats. Guy bought it, was going to put it away in storage, and just never did anything with it. I mean, how does that happen? That's just crazy. I mean, I may have a Hot Wheels here and there that I've bought over the years that I may have stashed in a drawer of my desk or in the trunk of my Camaro or something, that I've forgotten. But not a car, a full-size car? Come on. But it's just freaking amazing that people are like that. They just, I don't know. But it is a shame that it's not anywhere to be found. It's unfortunate. But what is fortunate is that this guy has restored one to look as authentic as possible to the original, which is cool in itself. That's taking that's a fanboy taking it to the next level right there. You get cars from the movie series like the Dukes of Hazzard or Starsky and Hutch. They used so many different cars. There may be an original one that we've used on the set, but there's so many different ones that they use and they've crashed. That's kind of hard, not to, I don't know, not to feel nostalgic about it. Like this car here, it was in the movie, and I don't believe they wrecked it. But I mean, it's one of those cars that were nostalgic and just should be recognized. So I guess for Cheech and Chong, if you're out there watching, this is for you guys. I am building up this Impala in a make-believe world, Car Mechanic Simulator 2018, for you guys. It does not have the plush and fuzzy interior like the other Impala did, but I can't help that. It doesn't come with parts with fuzzy interiors. I do, however, have a chain link steering wheel, which I will be putting into this. Yes, yes I will. Oh yes I will. So, ladies and gentlemen, so far I have not had to go back into the tablet to get parts. I think I did it this time. I think this is maybe the first, maybe the second engine I've done without having to go back and forth. Hey. Get a little closer here so I can see what I'm doing. My eyes are killing me. One of the scenes in this movie, you know, Cheech is, you know, singing. He's saying he's in the band and he's singing, you know, he's just a love machine, and Chong's over there. He goes, "Hey, you want to smoke this with me?" And he, you know, and Cheech is not looking at him. Cheech is, you know, driving and he's singing along, and Tommy Chong lights this thing up, and it's huge. I mean, it's just really huge, and they start talking about what it is, right? And Chong is like, "Oh yeah, it's like part what was it? Maui. It's like part Maui and Doberman." And Cheech is like, "What do you mean it's part Doberman? I've never heard of Doberman." He goes, "Oh well, you know, my dog, you know, he got a hold of my stash and he ate it, so I had to follow him around for a week to get his stash back." So, and she's just like, "What? You mean I'm smoking dog crap?" All right, it's stupid. I know. Okay, stupid comedy. I can't help it. These guys cracked me up in my youth, man. Cheech entertains still today. I need to look up, see what Chong's been doing. I know he's been around. I know him and Cheech have like been had been seen together, and I'm not entirely. I mean, I'm sure I would think that they were still friends. I would think that they're still friends because they've built like a lifelong career. It's almost like Penn and Teller, the magicians, Penn and Teller. You know, those two, you don't think of one without the other, right? But Penn, you've seen him in a lot of movies and sitcoms and everything else. Teller, you don't see so much. I think Teller, the only one I saw Teller was in was Amy Fairfaller's dad. Was it Amy's dad? I think it was Amy's dad. Quite hilarious. It was the first time I've heard him talk. First time I heard him speak, do anything. It was quite funny. Yeah, so it's like them. When you think of Penn and Teller, you think of the pair. When you say Cheech or Chong, you think of the pair. So you know that's pretty much how they were, like two peas in a pod. So I would hope that they were still buds after all this time. All right, so I got to talking and just totally messed myself up here. Let me get a gearbox here. You know, yeah, get a gearbox. I need a drive shaft. Got a starter. Yep, everything looks good. Alright. Now that I did raise this up, I think my drive shaft's off a little bit back here. So I'd have to fix that a little bit. Just a hair. You can tell it, look at it, it's a little bit off. Oh well. Everything underneath is good. What are we looking at here? Frames 100, interiors 100, global body is at 1. Well, are you kidding me? I mean, I've got the body taken care of. Okay, so let's see here. What kind of front seats is in here? Is this a bench up front? No. Seat Typhoon, Seat Typhoon. Okay, so they're... Bench cape front. Okay, so bench cape front. I had to figure out what interior pieces I needed. So let's jump over here into the interior. Jump over to bench cape front and 2 Typhoon seats. Typhoon. Two Typhoon seats? Both these? Let's say Typhoon. Alright, let's see what we... Oh, wait a minute. Wait. We need this. Yes, I do. Okay. Okay, so that goes in the back. It's a Lowrider, baby. Of course, it's not as low as it's not as low as Golly's. All right. All right, let's put some body panels on it, shall we? Community cars. I don't have any parts on here, I don't think. So let's jump into the Impala. Uh, 67. You know, we have a lot of Impalas now. We've got the 67 Impala, 2-door and 4-door. Thanks, Nick Speed Chap. We've got the 58 Impala. We've got the 73 Impala. We've got the 50. Yeah, I said the 58 already. And then we have two different 64 Impalas. We have the like a street rod and the Lowrider. So the street rod is different than the SS 409. So I've got to make sure I get just these. Hood, left. I gotta check the files on that, why they're so blank. Trunk, street rod. That's where it goes into the street rod. Okay, so now we should be able to put this together. I think when Golly first put this out, people were freaking out. Oh, the taillights don't work, and or something like that. I mean, the taillights were an issue for a lot of people. I don't understand. All I had to do was read. Okay, the windshield's in. Okay, so it's not the direct replica of it, right? But it's going to be pretty close. What was it I was going to do? I was going to do something. Oh, oil. I was going to put oil in it. And then, oh, need plates. So, unfortunately, they're like dark blue California plates with yellow lettering. I don't have anything dark blue. I do have California plates though. Just doesn't stand out as much, but that's okay. I think that's how it was done. Dang. I'd have to look real quick. Hang on. Yeah, it's just DVR. So, DVR. There we go. Let's get a couple of those. That is the license plate on here. So there you go. Oh, that's only on the back. It's only on the back. This one doesn't have anything on the front, so we won't put it on the front. They do have one on the front for the movie car one, though. So, all right. Looking pretty good. Are we 100% across the board? Yes, we are. What is our cost? 74K. Not too bad, I guess. All right, let's move this into the paint shop. So let's put on the final touches. Thanks to Ryan Peterson. Thank you, Ryan Peterson, for this. This is awesome. We are going to set the color of this to a, well, the livery is that one right there. We'll set the color. I don't really need to set the color, but we're going to try anyway. That's pretty close. It's a little oranger. Hey, not too shabby. Paint the car. Yeah, all right, we got it. Look at this beauty. Oh my God, this is awesome. Now, typically, this strip right here is gone on the Cheech and Chong car, but you know, this is just. I'm very tickled with this. I really am. So. I don't know how Ryan's going to do. I know he's going to maybe release some of these deliveries. Maybe I can use it. Maybe I can use it in a Dropbox. You can download it from the video. I'll touch base with him between now and then and find out if he gives me the permission to do that. You'll find it in the link below. Right? Right. Look at that, 558 horsepower, 723 pounds of torque. This Impala is one heavy Chevy. All right, there we have it. Cheech and Chong Up in Smoke Impala. Thanks for hanging with me today and building this bad boy. This was one car that I really enjoyed finding, and I really thank Ryan Peterson for putting this together for me. So thank you very much. All right, until the next movie car, I will see you later. This is Hurst Quayzar saying good night, and I am out.